In a quiet neighborhood, streets blanketed in a thick layer of soft snow. Every window glowed with a warm, golden light. It was the kind of scene you see on postcards. Peaceful and perfect. But for one woman, the day had been anything but. Exhausted from work, with the weight of the world on her shoulders, she stepped out into the crisp winter air. Instead of heading inside, she felt an odd pull to do something she hadn't done in years. She began to roll a small snowball, which grew larger and larger as she pushed it through the pristine snow. Soon, another ball sat on top of the first and a smaller one for the head. To finish her creation, she wrapped her own cozy red scarf around its neck and placed a well-loved hat on its head. As she stepped back to admire her work, a small smile touched her lips. She never imagined this snowman would change her entire winter. Later that night, as the world slept, a gentle wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it a hint of magic. The woman, unable to sleep, found herself staring out the window. Something was different. The snowman, it wasn't where she'd left it. It stood a few feet to the left, closer to the old oak tree. A shiver that had nothing to do with the cold ran down her spine. Was she imagining things? Her heart pounding with a mix of fear. In curiosity, she slipped on her boots and coat and quietly stepped outside. The air was still and silent, and there, in the untouched snow, were clear footprints leading from where the snowman had been to its new spot. It was impossible, yet the evidence was right there, in front of her. The atmosphere wasn't scary, but mysterious and strangely calm, as if the night itself was holding its breath. She took a tentative step forward, her eyes fixed on the figure made of snow and dreams. As if sensing her presence, the snowman slowly and possibly turned its head. Its charcoal eyes seemed to look right at her. Her breath caught in her throat. Instead of screaming or running back inside, an overwhelming sense of wonder took over. She felt drawn to it, a magnetic pull she couldn't explain. With cautious steps, she walked closer, stopping just a few feet away. Then, in a moment that would be forever etched in her memory, the snowman raised its twig arm and gave a small, gentle wave. It was a simple gesture, but it melted the fear in her heart, replacing it with a profound sense of warmth and connection. This wasn't a monster, this was a friend. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind swept through the yard, catching her off guard. The icy ground beneath her feet became treacherous, and she slipped, her arms flailing as she began to fall backward. In a flash of white movement that defied all logic, the snowman glided across the snow and caught her, its snowy arms wrapping around her to break her fall. As she leaned against its body, she was shocked to feel a faint, gentle warmth radiating from the cold snow, a comforting heat that felt like a hug from the inside out. It was a warmth that had nothing to do with temperature and everything to do with kindness. Safe in its embrace, the dam of her pent-up emotions finally broke. She found herself opening up, pouring out all the stress from her job, the deep ache of loneliness she felt every day, and all her worries about the future. The words tumbled out in a raw, honest stream, and the snowman just stood there, listening patiently, its presence a silent, steady comfort in the quiet night. First rays of morning sun streamed over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink and shining directly into the yard. The magic of the night began to recede with the dawn. As the light touched the snowman, a tragic transformation began. Tiny cracks started to form across its perfectly round surface, and its edges began to soften and drip. The sun, usually a source of life and warmth, had become its enemy. Panic seized the woman. She frantically grabbed an umbrella, hoping to shield him, then her own coat, trying desperately to block the relentless rays. But it was no use. The melting only quickened. The snowman was disappearing before her very eyes. With what little time it had left, it used a twig to carefully write a message in the snow at her feet. The words were simple, yet they held a universe of meaning. Thank you for giving me such beautiful days. As the last letter was formed, the snowman dissolved completely, not into a messy puddle, but into a swirl of shimmering white particles that danced in the morning light before drifting up into the sky. The woman stood frozen, watching them go. The only thing left in her hands, the soft red scarf. A tear rolled down her cheek, then another. But a sad, grateful smile played on her lips. She wasn't just crying for the loss of her friend, she was smiling for the brief, beautiful gift of his existence. The magic had been real, and it had touched her soul. The next morning, as she opened her front door, a small, beautifully wrapped box was sitting on her doorstep. With trembling hands, she opened it. Inside, nestled on a bed of velvet, was a glowing snow globe, Within the glass sphere stood a tiny snowman wearing a familiar red scarf, a gentle, eternal smile on its face. It was then she truly understood. Magic always exists for those with hearts willing to believe. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more.